Dream Vision, the media sentiment about South Africa. This is the 5th straight vision I have had in a row. Usually it would be weeks before I had this many. I said in the previous one I had not had this many before, and that was the 4th one. This is the 5th vision in a row. I believe it was due to those 2 weeks in solid prayer mode during exhaustion that these have come through. Praise the Almighty, and may they come to pass. Dream Vision. I am standing somewhere in natal Durban. I am on across a road looking out at the ocean. I see the ocean from this viewpoint, but it is as if I am looking through a camera. It is a hazy, grey day. This is the lens, representing the media outlook of South Africa. I feel the media, I see the international media now and see how they see South Africa. The international image of South Africa and sentiment towards both the new South Africa, the ANC fails. I see the international media, big corporations see South Africa how the whites had seen how South Africa would go. They see the situation in South Africa for what it is. I see they are no longer backing the ANC, nor do they step in to revive the idea of the Rainbow Nation. The media, international consensus of South Africa changes for good. It is as if they see it for what it is but also do not want to cover events in the country. There will be no attempts for reconciliation or any attempt to revive the new South Africa. They let it drift in whichever direction it goes. I see they neither support the whites nor the ANC black majority. They abandoned the new South Africa and all notions that it can be saved. They see it for what it is. There is a complete change of attitude towards the ANC from the international community, media. The ANC along with South Africa is now seen in the same light as any other failed, corrupt African nation. There will be no attempts to rescue, revive, or bring back the Rainbow Nation from the media. What they will report on is not the ANC but the state of decline, riots, bankruptcy. There will be a comparison between the old South Africa and how it functioned. I would not be surprised if Donald Trump says something about what is happening in South Africa. It will be covered by Fox News quite extensively. At this stage, they are neutral. It is as if there is some sympathy towards the Afrikaners, whites, but it is not mentioned, but the inference by the media is that the country is in decline and all fingers are pointed to ANC and corruption. This may be part of what I saw mentioned on a news network in another vision talking about the goodwill of de Klerk. Due to many people having made videos in the past all these decades during the decline of South Africa, the media will not be able to counter the years of truth spoken about by many online. This is the period and fulfillment of the dream, spotlight on South Africa. In the dream vision of the spotlight on South Africa, I saw Ramaphosa in the media spotlight, see Dream Vision. Some new form of media. He was in a very large Oprah-style auditorium with seats all around it. It was 2 to 3 stories. On the stage one see him hiding behind the curtain, not wanting to step into the light of the media. Too afraid to face the media, too afraid to go backstage where I saw the ANC in meeting. My suspicion is that he has been thrown out of the party during all this chaos and being in front of media. Is the light shining on what is happened in South Africa and what is unfolding? Whatever is happening in South Africa to cause the media spotlight to shine extremely bright and put it on center stage has to be something major taking place in the country. Another dream vision from January 2020, the same dream vision I had about something major happening in South Africa that will be spoken about for 5 years around the world. As far as Asia, which we know now is the COVID virus period, and in that dream I saw some major power issues in the Cape. The 5-year period is already confirmed by the World Bank. This COVID period is designed to last until 2025. I saw Portuguese ships sailing very close to the Cape. I saw the spirit of Ramaphosa vanish. I saw his spirit was large hovering over Table Mountain, but then his spirit faded like a mist or fog into the background. See Dream Vision. Something happens here with Europe and South Africa. I saw the ANC flee from the Cape. This is when I saw Ramaphosa vanish from the Cape. Whether the army is deployed or not is of no use. The Almighty sent me a message to send you. Your chains came undone in March 2020. Your century of bondage has ended. The Afrikaner, Boer, white nation is a free nation declared by Yahweh Almighty. You are witnessing the chains coming undone. No nation, no worldly power can now stop what the Almighty has decreed. I sent you the message on the 8th of July, having been told the chains would come undone in 8 months. 8 months later, COVID hit. Man is busy planning. The nation's birds have plotted against the Almighty, but it will be the ducks, the Afrikaners, Boers, whites of South Africa which the Almighty has released. A special people to the Almighty. World peace hangs in the balance. The world's future rests in the Afrikaner, Boers white nation hands. Once the Boer government is established and the ducks fly out, Afrikaner, Boers white nation of South Africa fly out, on you flying out from the nest. Shots will be heard around the world and international law and peace will be broken. See video of how the nations would conspire against the Almighty. The insight about this dream about the ducks flying out, I never knew what ducks meant until I searched for the meaning based on the seer's words. There I found it. They represent the whites. Afrikaners, Boers of South Africa. The only reason I looked it up was due to the scroll appearing in the dream about his vision with Russia and the UK, is the vision of Ezekiel chapter 31 verse 6. I was in my kitchen, the dream in the background. I cried out, Almighty, what do the birds mean? I was told, look in the Bible. I searched online and found it in Ezekiel. Ezekiel chapter 31 verse 6. All the birds of the sky nested in its boughs, all the animals of the wild gave birth under its branches, all the great nations lived in its shade. It was majestic in beauty, with its spreading boughs, for its roots went down to abundant waters. The cedars in the garden of God could not rival it, nor could the junipers equal its boughs, nor could the plane trees compare with its branches. No tree in the garden of God could match its beauty. I made it beautiful with abundant branches, the envy of all the trees of Eden in the garden of God. Therefore this is what the sovereign Lord says, because the great cedar towered over the thick foliage, and because it was proud of its height. I gave it into the hands of the ruler of the nations, for him to deal with according to its wickedness. I cast it aside, and the most ruthless of foreign nations cut it down and left it. Its boughs fell on the mountains and in all the valleys, its branches lay broken in all the ravines of the land. All the nations of the earth came out from under its shade and left it. All the birds settled on the fallen tree, and all the wild animals lived among its branches. When I came across this verse, once again I asked, but Almighty, how is it possible that this is the same event that Ezekiel had spoken about? This is a different time period. I thought, how could it be, since this was in the past when I heard the words of Solomon. There is nothing new under the sun, what has been will be done again. And then I asked, but how is that possible? And I heard the words of Jesus, as in the days of Noah. We have confirmation from the Almighty that there is nothing new under the sun. The same events on earth take place time and time again because the spirit of man is corrupted through greed and lust. This time I saw the tree in London. It is London this time which has all the birds singing along, going along with the New World Order. It is against the Almighty, it is against His laws, His people, and as a result I saw the Russian airstrike and the scroll of the seers open up before me. The scroll opened and opened, shutting, it was fulfilled. The only reason the channel exists is due to that dream and what was shown from 2014-2015. When the ducks fly out of the tree, it is the fulfillment of the vision given to Daniel. O dear nation, open your eyes. When you fly out of the nest, the unholy alliance of nations which have conspired against the Almighty. The nation will have fulfilled God's visions given to Daniel in Daniel chapter 2 verse 43. And just as you saw the iron mixed with baked clay, so the people will be a mixture and will not remain united. Any more than iron mixes with clay. In the time of those kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom that will never be destroyed, nor will it be left to another people. It will crush all those kingdoms and bring them to an end, but it will itself endure forever. The foundations of this tree that grew out of the earth began with the First Boer War and the League of Nations, which morphed into the United Nations. This took place a century ago and tied you to these nations and kingdoms, but out of all the birds in the tree, only you flew out. You flew out because your century of bondage was released by the Almighty for the Almighty's purposes. In the dream, the tree was filled with all kinds of birds, all mixed, all working together. When the laws are scraped, they are shelved in a museum on which I saw the Babylonian tablets. The First Kingdom. The last iron and clay meets the same fate as the First Kingdom and is scrapped for all eternity, and it happens as the ducks, Afrikaners, whites, Boers, fly out of the nest, and this can only come about through the Almighty, and the chains can only come undone through the Almighty, and that has been done. Your century of bondage has come to an end in March 2020, all you have to do is trust in the Almighty and fly. The laws were shelved in the museum next to the Babylonian tablets for the same reason. Conspiring against God. In that day they built a high tower, today they corrupt God's tower with their forced poison. Woe to the nations which have conspired against the Almighty, you will all be cut down in that day, the day the ducks fly from the unholy alliance. In that day will all peace be broken and the tree cut down, and this era be shelved, iron mixing with clay like it was done in Babylon, like the former relic. Praise God, pray for the nation, pray for that the nation flies from her, and may the God bless the nation and bless you.